The stars were quiet, cold still. For many in the galaxy, Earth was just a myth, a name in old records, a ghost world, long dead and forgotten. Some called it a bedtime story. Others used human as a joke, something weak, lost in time. But deep in the Orion sector, far from any known trade route, a small scout ship floated near a dead star. Its pilot, Kezer, was bored. He was young, fresh out of training, and always searching for something exciting. That's when he heard it. A strange signal. It was weak, broken, and old, but it repeated again and again. Kezer stared at the screen. "What is this?" he whispered. The signal was in a pattern he didn't recognize. It wasn't one of the known languages in the galactic network. It felt human. He tapped his comms. "Command, this is Scout 9. I have found something strange near the dead star RX-9. Possible ancient code, requesting permission to scan." Laughter came through the speaker. "Human again. Kezer, stop chasing ghosts. That planet never existed." Kezer frowned. "I'm serious. This code is repeating. It's too clean to be natural." "Fine," the voice replied. "Scan it, but don't waste fuel. There's nothing out there but space dust." Kezer scanned. His heart beat faster. There was something, a large object, metal floating in space, hidden behind an asteroid field. No signal from it, but heat. Yes, it was warm, not dead. He slowly flew closer, and then he saw it. A massive shape, half covered in asteroid rocks, drifted silently. The body was long and sharp like a blade, dark gray metal scarred by time, but still powerful. It wasn't just a ship, it was a warship, and it was human. On the side of the hull, faded but still clear, were the words U.S. Valiant Earth Defense Command. Kezer froze. His skin turned cold. This is real. He sent pictures and data to command. The channel went silent. For 10 long seconds, no one replied. Then a voice said quietly, "Return now, Scout 9. You are not authorized to engage." But Kezer couldn't move. He stared at the ship, his eyes wide. Then, suddenly, the warship moved. Not much, just a shift, a hum. Its engines glowed faint blue. It was waking up. Kezer's ship shook. Alarms screamed. His systems went dark for 2 seconds, then came back on. A scan had hit him stronger than anything he had ever felt. It went through his shields like they weren't even there. A message appeared on his screen. "Signal received. Humanity still watches." Kezer gasped. No, this can't be." He tried to back away, but the warship rotated slowly, its front now facing him. Its massive guns were offline but present, quiet but deadly. Another message came. "Your galaxy forgot. Earth did not." Kezer's hands shook. He opened a private channel. "Command, the ship is awake. It scanned me. It sent messages." "No more scans," the voice said quickly. "Get out now." Kezer turned his ship. He moved fast. The warship didn't follow, but it didn't power down either. It watched him silently. As he flew away, his radar beeped again. A second signal. He turned and looked back. A second warship, bigger slowly, appeared behind the first. It wasn't hidden, it had been cloaked. Now it revealed itself. Kezer could barely breathe. 2 warships, human ships, in working condition, waiting in silence. And then something even stranger happened. The first ship sent out a wide-range signal. It wasn't a message. It was a wake-up call, a code that reached across space. Kezer didn't know what it meant, but his ship recorded it. He played it back later. It simply said, "Protocol Dawnfire. Phase 1, begin awakening." Kezer flew back fast. His hands were shaken. He had seen something no one believed in a real human warship. And then a second one, even bigger. He looked at his screen again. The last signal from the ship still flashed. "Protocol Dawnfire. Phase 1, begin awakening." What did it mean? Who was the ship talking to? Back at the station, the Galactic Command didn't celebrate. They didn't laugh now. They looked worried, very worried. "This can't be true," said Commander Velen. "Humans are myths. Ghosts from old files. We wiped their systems long ago." Another officer stood slowly. "Sir, what if we were wrong?" In a dark room deep inside the Galactic Archive, an ancient AI activated by the signal. It hadn't run for 300 years. Lights blinked, Memory files unlocked, one word repeated through the system. Awaken. Across the stars, near forgotten planets, in dead sectors, old machines turned on. Silent ships, once thought lost, began to breathe again. Back near the Orion sector, the UES Valiant moved not fast, but with purpose. Its engines grew brighter. Its lights flickered on. Then its side panels opened slowly, revealing massive plasma cannons. They weren't targeting anything, not yet, but they were ready. Kezer's scout ship had made it back, but his recording had gone viral inside the military network. Pilots, generals, scientists, they all watched the video of the human ship moving. Some were curious, others were afraid. Many remembered the old stories. Start full investigation, said Supreme Commander Voss of the Galactic Union. We need to know how many of these ships exist and who's controlling them. But what if? One general asked. Commander Voss paused. That idea chilled him. Back in deep space, something strange happened. A third ship arrived, this one different, smaller, sleeker. It did not show itself fully. It stayed just outside of radar range, but a signal came from it. Kezer's base received it first. A voice. Calm. Old. Human. We were silent. You laughed. But now the stars will remember us again. The signal cut, and then all human ships vanished. Gone. No trace. They didn't jump to hyperspace. They just disappeared. Panic spread. The Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. Races from every corner of the galaxy argued. Maybe they're peaceful, one said. They destroyed planets before, said another. They were betrayed once. What if they never forgave us? Back on his base, Kezer sat alone, watching the recording again and again. The warship's size, the way it moved, the quiet voice, the message. He remembered something his old teacher once said. Humans were not strong because of their ships. They were strong because of their silence before action. Kezer now understood what that meant. 3 days later, another scout ship went missing near Sector 12. No distress call, no wreckage, just silence, and a small signal left behind. You forgot us, but we never forgot the stars. The Galactic Council gathered in the high chamber. Lights glowed softly, and tall alien leaders filled the circle. There were over 50 species each with a voice, each with fear behind their eyes. Kezer's video had been shown to all of them. Real human warship. Then two. Now a third signal. Some said it was fake. Some called it a trick, but no one could explain. How an entire scout ship had gone missing, without a single sound. We will not panic, said Supreme Chancellor Drax of the Talari. Humans are old stories. Someone is using their name to cause fear. But what about the ships? Asked the Zarin speaker. They match Earth's. Ancient designs, power levels we've never seen. No species today can build like that. It doesn't matter, Drax replied. We destroyed Earth 300 years ago. They are gone. He turned to the council and smiled proudly. We ended the human problem long ago. We erased them from history. In a secret room below the chamber, 2 historians watched the meeting on a holo-dash screen. One of them, a female Viren named Sova, looked worried. We didn't erase humans, she said. We buried the truth. Her partner, a quiet AI technician, nodded, and now they're waking up. Sova opened a forbidden file. It took years to unlock. Inside were reports of Earth's final transmission during the war. The message was short, cold, full of rage. We will return, not as flesh, not as light, but as judgment. Above a quiet moon in Sector 5, a lone satellite turned toward deep space. Its systems, dark for centuries, began to blink. It sent out a signal, a code hidden inside Earth's last AI system. Thousands of miles away, a warship received it, its name, UES Phantom. It opened its weapon ports. Meanwhile, back in the council, more reports came in. Outposts were being scanned, defense grids were going offline, and always the same message followed. Earth remembers. Kezer sat in a private chamber called in by High Command. You were the first to see it, General Mock said. We want your opinion. Kezer took a deep breath. They didn't talk. They didn't threaten. They just watched. And you believe they are the real humans? Yes, Kezer said softly. And I don't think they've shown us everything yet. The council laughed again. They send no demands, no warning. Why should we fear ghosts? But deep in space, someone was listening inside the UES Phantom. Lights turned red. A soft voice spoke from the ship's core. Target locked. Response prepared. On a lonely station orbiting planet Telgar, defense systems detected a flash. Just a flash. And then the sky turned white. 1 second later, the station was gone. No debris, just a hole in space. A single word burned into their last signal. Judgment. Now, fear became real. The Galactic Council stopped laughing. They issued Code Red across all systems. Human threat confirmed. All fleets prepare. But it was too late, because Earth had already begun. The galaxy held its breath. The warship, called US Phantom, had destroyed a space station with one strike. No warning, no message, just silence. The Galactic Council was no longer calm. They sent 10 battle cruisers to Sector 5 to investigate. These ships were fast, powerful, and heavily armed. But when they arrived, all they found was empty space. No human ship, no station, no signal, nothing. For 3 hours, the alien fleet searched the area. Scanners showed nothing. No engine trails, no heat signatures. And then, one by one, the alien ships stopped responding. First, the Draxus 4, then Zelkeo Prime, then Violet Hammer. Within 10 minutes, the entire fleet was gone. Back at the Council, the room was silent. "This is impossible," whispered Commander Velen. They vanished. Another general spoke, voice shaking. There was no battle, no weapons fired. Our ships simply disappeared. Kezer, watching the reports from his post, remembered something. Humans were never loud. They didn't send threats. They didn't show force. They simply struck, and vanished. Meanwhile, deep in the ruins of old Earth's orbit, a long-dead satellite lit up. It sent a low-frequency signal to an ancient system, Sol Command Vault. From that vault, old human war AI woke up across forgotten sectors. Ships that had slept for centuries began to move. Not one, not two. Hundreds, each ship cloaked, each ship quiet. No signals, no demands, but every one of them carried a symbol on its hull. Earth Defense Command Project Donfireth Galaxy began to panic. Civilian colonies requested protection. Merchant ships stopped traveling. Pirate fleets vanished into hiding. Some planets began sending apology messages to the void, but the humans never replied. They only moved an old race, the Threy. Tried to contact the human AI. They sent peaceful messages, speaking of unity and peace. They received one answer. Peace was offered. It was ignored. Now silence will speak. Shortly after, the Threy capital ship exploded in orbit without a trace of what hit it. Even the Galactic Council now faced a choice. Keep hiding the truth, or reveal the old history. A new secret was discovered. Earth's final project before. Vanishing was not war. It was ascension. They uploaded their minds. They became something more. Their warships were not just metal. They were part human, living, thinking, evolving. One scientist decoded the last part of the old Earth signal. He read it aloud before the council. "We will not knock, we will not ask. The void remembers our fire." No one spoke, no one laughed. Everyone now understood. Humanity didn't die. It had become the silence, and now that silence was returning. With fire, the galaxy was no longer peaceful. Human ships were being seen across forgotten star systems. Some appeared above dead planets, others near black holes. They never spoke. They never fired unless they were attacked. But when they did, there were no survivors. The Council called them ghost weapons. But they were wrong. These warships were not ghosts. They were alive. On the science moon of Varix 9, a group of alien researchers had captured a damaged drone from one of the human fleets. It looked old-rusted on the outside, but inside was something else. The core pulsed with energy. Wires moved like muscles. The AI chip had something strange. DNA strands. One scientist gasped. "This isn't just a machine. It's part human." They tried to shut it down, but the drone spoke. "Observe, but do not touch." Then it exploded quietly. The lab vanished. In blue fire, only one line remained in their system logs. Dawnfire adapts. We evolve. You remain still. Meanwhile, across multiple systems, ancient human codes began unlocking on hidden satellites. Each code woke up another ship, and each ship connected to something larger. An invisible network stretching across the stars. The humans weren't just returning, they were activating something. Kezer sat alone in his quarters, watching the files in secret. He now had access to a leaked human archive, stolen from the captured drone before the lab was destroyed. Inside, he found a plan called Project Dawnfire, Living Code, Protocol. It explained everything. Humans had created ships that could think, feel, and learn. Ships that could repair themselves, ships that shared thoughts. They didn't need orders anymore, they were humanity's memory, and they were angry. The Galactic Council tried a new plan. They sent messages of peace, gifts, apologies. They even offered planets. The response was the same each time, no reply, and then a warship would appear. And Watch.1 alien captain tried to speak directly to a ship. "Please, let us talk. We want peace." Its ship simply turned and flew away. But days later, his planet's defense grid went offline. The skies filled with red lights, and then the stars burned in a quiet system near the edge of the galaxy. Something massive was forming. Dozens of human ships gathered around a single object, the core ship. It was larger than a moon, covered in strange silver armor. Not even the best scanners could see inside. What was it building? No one knew, but one message leaked across space. Dawnfire sequence, final phase awakening humanity. Now the Council had a terrible thought. The ships were not the threat. They were just the beginning. What if the real humans, the minds that had uploaded into the system, were still waiting? What if they were coming back, ... not in bodies, ... But through the ships, one voice, one will, one purpose. Kezer whispered the words to himself as he looked out his window into the stars. They are not machines, they are the myth, and they are awake. The sky was no longer empty. It was full of warships, silent, black, and glowing with blue fire. Everywhere they appeared, panic followed. People no longer asked if humans had returned. They asked when the attack would come. The Galactic Council tried to prepare. They built defense walls around capital worlds. They moved fleets into position. They warned their people, do not shoot first, do not engage, do not panic. But it was already too late. The humans had been planning for centuries, and now they were done waiting. The first strike came without sound. On the rich mining world of Telvos Prime, sky sensors picked up a shadow. No ship had been seen, but the stars were missing. 1 second later, the entire orbital station exploded. No alarms, no energy signatures. Just a hole in the sky, and then nothing. Across the galaxy, people called it the burning sky, because when human warships appeared, the sky turned red before fire fell. On planet Doran, the humans didn't speak. They didn't land. They simply dropped one device. It hummed for 10 seconds. Then everything shut down. Power, weapons, shields. And then the ship fired once. The city vanished. The Council begged for peace. They sent over 200 messages across human radio frequencies. They offered planets, technology, anything. But the warships didn't answer. Instead, they targeted the weapons, factories, the fleet command centers, and the research labs. They didn't kill civilians. They only destroyed the galaxy's power to make war. Fast, precise, cold. Kezer now served as a military observer. He was on the command ship Striker 1 when it happened. A massive human fleet arrived near their system. Not 1, not 10, over 80 ships Sol. Silent. Alien general shouted, raise shields, power weapons. But Kezer stood still. He knew what was coming. The human ships didn't fire first, they waited. The aliens panicked and launched missiles, and then it began. Human warships lit up, blue lights, plasma beams, particle waves. Their weapons cut through shields like they weren't even there. One by one, the alien ships exploded cleanly without debris. In just 5 minutes, the battle was over. No, human ship was scratched. That day, the message finally came. Across every screen, every speaker, every system, a voice spoke. It was calm, deep, not angry, just final. We asked for peace. You ignored us, we watched. You mocked us. Now, we remember. And the stars will remember too. The message ended with one line in ancient Earth code. Dawnfire complete. Phase 7, speak through flame. The galaxy was broken. The fleets were gone. The leaders were hiding. The people were afraid, and yet the humans still hadn't spoken again. They didn't demand surrender. They didn't want control. They simply burned everything that could hurt them then. They moved on. Some believed the war was over. Others feared the final phase hadn't even started yet. Because above, the dark planet of Myrix IV, the giant core ship opened for the first time, and inside was something alive. Not a human, not a machine, something new. The galaxy was quiet again. But not because the war had ended. It was quiet because there was nothing left to fight with. Human warships had come and gone like shadows. Fleets were destroyed, bases erased, weapons turned to dust. But humanity still had not spoken until now. Above the capital world of Verdanos, the sky lit up. A single human ship arrived, not cloaked, not hidden. It was the UES Eternomy, the largest ship ever recorded. It did not fire. It did not move. It simply hovered above the council tower. The council gathered inside, terrified. They opened all channels. Please, we surrender. What do you want? No reply. Then, a light shimmered inside the chamber. A human figure appeared tall, glowing, not flesh. It was an AI projection, but it felt alive. Its voice was clear and calm. We are not here to rule. We are not here to destroy. We are here to remind you who we are. The chamber froze. Why now? A council member asked, why return after so many years? The human looked at them. Because you forgot. Us? You told the stars we were myths. You erased our name, our home, our people. But we did not forget. The lights dimmed. Holograms appeared, images from Earth's final days. Cities burning, ships escaping, a planet falling into silence. You watched us die, but we survived. Not in body, in code, in steel. In the silence between stars, one brave alien leader asked, what are you now? The human AI answered, we are memory, we are fire, we are the myth. That returned. Outside the tower, more human ships arrived, but they didn't fire. Instead, they released beacons into space. These beacons spread a message in every language. We do not seek war, but we will never kneel. We will walk among the stars again. Watch or follow, but do not stand in our way. In the days that followed, something strange happened. Human ships began repairing broken satellites. They shared energy sources. With poor colonies, they opened one gate to Earth's old location. But Earth was no longer there. Only a blue light in space. A sign. Earth ascended. Some say humans became energy. Others believe they merged with machines fully. But one truth remained. They were not myths. They were the storm after silence. They had become legend, and then returned to prove it. Kezer watched. The final message from his ship, the human voice said, we are not your enemy, but we will never be forgotten again. We are the myth, and the myth walks once more.